Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent, and the channel is EOS Bitcoin San Diego. It's been a couple weeks since I put up a video, and I keep threatening to do nightly videos, and I think this time I'm going to finally do it. I'm going to finally get back into this full time and start being on the internet on a nightly vlog every single night. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be night or day, but I'm going to find some time to make these videos every single night. I apologize. I'm so late tonight. It's Sunday evening, San Diego, California, 11:36 p.m. We're July 18th. I'm going live really late in the evening, so people in the United States probably aren't going to be able to watch me live because most of them are sleeping because we're on the West Coast. So on the East Coast, you got 3 hours difference than the West Coast, so we're on the West Coast. So it's going to be late. But anyway, I'm just going to talk about a few things. Talk about some of the stuff that I think about the market, some of the things I want to discuss. One of the reasons why I think that a channel like mine is so needed is because we are in the crypto game as participants and not spectators. So when I give you information, we're giving it to you from somebody that's actually built, developed, and is growing an application running, truly running on the blockchain. We're not somebody that has a white paper that is trying to formulate an idea and trying to gain, or actually because they have a lot of cult figure status, i.e. example would be Cardano or Vitalik or these kind of people. They have so many people following them, but when it comes to actual production, actually what they're doing, what they're developing, not much happens. And that's one of the reasons why I get kind of a little bit, I guess, not really burned out or I get kind of bored with the whole process. Because when I sit here and I see, and we'll just share my screen so I can show you some of the stuff that's going on. When I sit here and I see valuations in the billions and billions, if I can get my screen to go back to where it should be. Here we go. There we go. If we bring up the market right now, and I look at people like, Cardano, Charles Hawkinson, out of Colorado. I have nothing against Charles, smart guy, but he has got a valuation, market cap of $38 billion. The volume, I mean, he's trading over $800,000 a day in volume. And and don't trust me on this. Go look at for yourself what they have going on right now, what they really have actually produced, and what they are actually doing on the blockchain. And what you're going to find out is literally nothing. They haven't really built much, they haven't released much, and they haven't developed much. But still, he has a $38 billion market cap, which is, to me, outrageous. I mean, I think you look at CHL. I mean, I think our market cap's around $150,000, $160,000. We have a working application that is being used every day by thousands of people, and we're running, we're working, we're making strides. Thanks, I appreciate the thumbs up. We have, in fact, that's why I posted my son's video yesterday, because we're actually troubleshooting. We're kind of figuring out how to get on exchanges. We're trying to figure out, people who are talking to us and people that were talking back to us and stuff like that. And believe me, some of the biggest crypto people in the game have talked to us. They have listened to us. They're looking at us. I mean, we've had endless conversations with Binance. I'm talking about Binance, CG, Binance. Everybody knows who Binance is. They're holding 60 million of our tokens. We asked them to release the tokens to the rightful owners, which are the people that held EOS at the time of the airdrop. And they've ignored us. So our community has asked them. So in retaliation to that, what they've done is they've delisted us from CoinMarketCap, which is an exchange, or actually that they had purchased. CoinMarketCap, everybody's heard of CoinMarketCap. I'll bring it up for you right here. But they had delisted us from CoinMarketCap because they got tired of listening to us complain about the fact that they're holding hostage 60 million challenge tokens that they're not willing to give to the rightful owners. I mean, this is a foul. This is something that they shouldn't be doing. So they just kind of want us to go away. So the way they want us to go away is they just take us off their CoinMarketCap. This is CoinMarketCap right now. And to me, it's not a big deal. CoinMarketCap is ADA is way overvalued. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Um, you know, this reminds me of the early days of the internet when everybody that threw an idea out there had incredible evaluations, but at the end of the day, only the ones that actually had built and done something and had an idea that was growing and workable are the ones that survived. And I always love, I wish if I was a college professor teaching about the internet, about crypto, about businesses, about internet businesses, I would teach an entire course on broadcast.com, which is Mark Cuban's company that got sold to Yahoo for a couple $2 billion, which made him a very wealthy man, which at the time, the technology could not support his idea. He was trying to stream sporting events, mainly basketball games because he liked Indiana basketball. He was trying to stream sporting events from 28K modems, which is very slow. You know, the processing speed was very, very slow. There was no bandwidth, okay? So he had an unworkable product, but because of basically the ignorance of the public and ignorance of Yahoo, thinking that this was something that was going to take off, bought it for him for billions of dollars, making him a very wealthy man, but it wasn't sustainable, it didn't work, and it never did work. And at the end of the day, he comes out, you know, he's the one that laughed all the way to the bank where everybody else sat there, and that if you bought broadcast.com or if you owned it or had anything to do with it, you got basically hosed. You got totally hosed by Mark Cuban. And now he turns out to be somebody that everybody, you know, puts on it, you know, their news networks and stuff like that as some sort of a, you know, a guidance or some sort of idea. He's not an idea guy. He's a guy that got lucky in a guy that had, you know, a lousy, crummy idea. That the only reason he got it pulled off is because people were well, basically they're just too stupid to figure out what was really going on, including Yahoo, who spent multiple billions of dollars to try to, you know, make broadcast.com something and it wasn't, which was nothing. I got an interesting story when I was young and younger than I am now. Actually, I wasn't even that young. I was probably in my 40s. I had one of the first e-commerce websites. We called it pygmyjoe.com. We were selling items on the website. And we had a really cool website. It's around 1999, one of the first e-commerce websites on the internet. And basically it was my idea. I was the one to put it together. And I had a young guy who was a pretty good programmer, and his name is Eric Ingram. I don't know what happened to him, but his dad worked for Apple, and the kid was amazing. He had incredible skills. Well, we had built the website in Flash, which was a programming where you could actually have animation, you know, in the website, and it was pretty cool. So it was like there was a lot of animation in the website and stuff like that. And of course, we're running on quick internet speeds. We had good internet on the West Coast during that period of time. And I remember calling my friends on the West Coast, in the Midwest, and asking them about my website. Hey, Kate, take a look at pygmyjoe.com. You know, it's a really great, you know, and they would tell me that they could never, would never download for them because it took too much time. And just there was the infrastructure of sending content over the internet didn't not have the capability of downloading or processing or the bandwidth of carrying that much content or that much information. So when we realized that nobody could see my site except for a few people with basically what with the time would have been, I don't even remember what they call it now, but had high-speed internet or had some sort of a sometimes they had business internet speeds that were just they were way faster than ordinary modem speeds. 28K modem speeds, which most people are. We recognized the problem, we fixed it, we went back to a very simple HTML site. Once we figured that out, we made it extremely fast, and once we made it extremely fast, very easy to download, people could, and we started getting orders right away, and we did very, very well with it. But our first attempt at it was all wrong, because we were just trying to develop something and it didn't work. And that's kind of what's going on right now. You've got these people that have given you great expectations, Ethereum 2.0, Cardano, endless ideas that probably will never be developed. And the thing that's really interesting, if you listen to Charles Hawkinson talk, he's a real big guy on getting papers written on his topic. So if he comes up with the idea of how is the best way to develop or move forward, or how to has the best way to either proof of stake or proof of work, how's the best way to do it, he listens to people within that field of study, and they write college grade or university grade papers, and then he kind of sorts through those and decides which way they were going to go. But if you really listen to him close, and he's not even the guy that's doing it, it's the community that's doing it, not Charles. So you have this community that's nebulous, not really identifiable, that's kind of working on a project that really doesn't have much direction, doesn't have a time or date of when it's ever going to be launched, and he's not even the one that's doing it, but yet he can sit there and have a billion, let's see what it is, how many $billion market cap. He can go back, let's see, it's 100 and, what was the market cap on Cardano? You can have a $38 billion market cap, and we don't have any of the specifics, just like Cuban had when he had broadcast.com. He just had an idea of live streaming sporting events without the infrastructure or the bandwidth to do it. So this is what I'm saying. This is what's going on with crypto today. You have a lot of people making a lot of grandiose idea statements that they're going to build something, do something that hasn't materialized yet and may not materialize, and probably won't materialize, because right now at this point with those kind of valuations, there's no way we're going to meet expectations. There's no way, even with all the blue sky built into these valuations, these billion-dollar valuations, are they ever going to meet those expectations? They can't do it. So their best way to do it is just to play what they've been playing. Hey, we're going to bail it. It's going to develop. It's all going to be cool. We're going to run DeFi. We're going to run world finance. We're going to do everything. We're going to do blah, blah, blah. But they keep talking, but nothing ever happens. While in the meantime, people like us, because we're not connected to, people like Vitalik, or we're not connected to people like, some of the early movers in Bitcoin, we don't get this exposure. But we are the ones doing the work, and we're the ones that are actually completing the process, the projects, and we're actually the one that is running. So in the end of the day, we'll see how this all falls out. And don't start hating on me about, Ethereum and Hawkinson and those guys. I'm not disliking those guys. I know they're all smart people. The only thing I'm saying is what they have developed and what they're worth today is absurd. So what they have actually processed, developed, and put out on the internet, and what the valuations are, it will absolutely not, it is not doable. It's not workable. It's crazy. It's like broadcast.com being sold for $2 billion. And then a year later, I don't even think they did it. I mean, it basically went away. $2 billion just melted away like an ice cube on a hot day. Nothing ever happened with it. So that's basically what you're going to see here. And we are developers in the game, processing, developing, building, thinking, troubleshooting, making things easier every day, connecting up with people like, the big exchanges and talking to them and doing everything else. And my son made a good point on that video last night. If you haven't watched it, please watch. I know it's a little bit difficult because they are doing it on Facebook and it's kind of hard to hear everybody at the same time. But they're talking about some of these exchanges are very difficult to identify people that are running them, because they kind of distance themselves from their exchange, because obviously there's a lot of liability running an exchange. I mean, if like with Binance, I mean, they took a lot of challenge tokens in, put them in the cold storage, and now they're kind of pretending like, go away, we don't want to give them to the rightful owners, which are the EOS token holders that own the token when you made the airdrop, who were intended to receive these. We just want you guys to go away, which is interesting. So now they just delist us. They want us to go away, even though we've talked to them endlessly. They've even invited us to run on their Binance chain. And then when we asked them for a little bit of compensation for doing that, well, then they just ran away. So I have no respect for Binance. I have no respect for ZZ. I have no respect for the integrity of them. And as far as I'm concerned, they're just a bunch of people that never have really done anything except talk big game and never deliver. I mean, anybody could do that. Anybody could talk big games and delivers. That's why I need to be on this channel talking this stuff every night. And don't listen to me. There's plenty of information out there that shows you what these people are doing and what they've actually materialized and what has actually happened. We are way behind as far as what DeFi should be doing and is doing. We're way behind in what smart contracts should be doing and what they actually are doing. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that people are cultish. They're following these coins. They don't care that nothing's happened because they've seen some incredible appreciations. I mean, when you buy Ethereum for a few dollars and it runs up to $1,900, obviously you don't care what happens. I mean, you don't care if they ever build anything or not because you've made a lot of money. As long as those profits stay locked in, you're not going to worry too much about whether Vitalik ever completes 2.0 or not, which I don't think he ever will. But we are on version 8 or version 9 of our challenge application. We continue to work on it. It continues to grow. We will get picked up by some major exchanges. I guarantee you we'll do that. We are so close on so many different ideas and so many different deals. We are adding features to this every single day. And furthermore, I'm going to start today on this video. If you want to make a comment on this video, I will give you 500 challenge tokens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a challenge on our challenge application, and it's very easy to get challenge application downloaded on your cell phone. Just go to Google Play or the Google Play or the iOS, the App Store. Download challenge, CHALLENGE EOS, and right there is the application. And I'm gonna put a link there. And if you put a comment on here, you're gonna automatically. I'm gonna put a challenge for anybody that puts a comment on this video. You're gonna automatically get some tokens, 500 challenge tokens. Now I realize at this point that's not worth a lot of money, but it's free. All you got to do is you don't have to write a sentence. Just basically comment. Just make some sort of effort to say either a thumbs up, thumbs down, liked it, didn't like it, question, whatever it is you want to ask. I'd be willing to answer it because I'm going to be here every single night, so you have plenty of time to think of something to ask me if you're really interested in this. The other thing that I want to talk about, the major issue I want to talk about, is Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin has been trading pretty sideways for a while. It is down to 31,848. No one could foresee what happened, which is basically China took their miners offline. So China made it so you couldn't mine Bitcoin in China anymore, which is really a positive thing for Bitcoin, because for two things. First of all, it shows that Bitcoin has the resilience of if a country shuts them down, that it doesn't fall apart. I mean, in any other business, if you took, and I hear it's up to 60% of the miners in China that got shut down. If you took 60% of production away from the company would collapse. I mean, any company that lost 60% of their productivity, their production, 60% of their ability to produce, they would just immediately close the doors. But here we have only had a minor dip in Bitcoin. I mean, we're up 60,000 now, we're 31,000, but earlier in the year we were at 5,000, 4,000. So Bitcoin is up huge for the last 12 months, but it hasn't been where it should be by now, especially with all the stimulus and all things. Bitcoin should be around $100,000 very easily right now, just based on pure economics and purely what's gone on in the stimulus and the money printing world of fiat currencies, U.S. as well as all the others. So Bitcoin should be around $100,000, but because the miners from China have to relocate, I mean, they're not going away. They're not going to go away. They're going to relocate to other parts of the world, and they're going to continue to come online. And maybe in that process, they might have to sell some of their Bitcoin in order to make the transition to move. But they're going to come back online, and the only people that are hurting themselves is China, because China wants to maintain some control over this Bitcoin mining. They're just deciding, hey, we're gonna stop it until we decide how we want to handle it, how we want to move forward, how we want to progress. And in the meantime, we're going to shut down about 60% of the mining, and that's what I heard of 60%. It could be more, could be less, who knows? You will never know because you hear so much different information. But because of that, that's caused the Bitcoin price to go down, and it's only a temporary thing. It shows that Bitcoin is resilient, that you can shut it down in a country and it will pop up someplace else, and it doesn't go away, and it doesn't destroy the Bitcoin market. It just simply gives it a little bit of a downturn, or a little bit of a sideways trading, or a little bit of a it doesn't get, it's not going where it should be going. It should be at 100,000 very easy right now. So anyway, Bitcoin will come back. The miners are moving. I heard some different countries that they're moving to. In fact, Texas is one of the places where they're moving to. So the Chinese miners that have been shut down in China will be remining, reopening their mining operations in other places of the world, and we'll be back to where we were before as far as mining is concerned. And they'll probably hang on to their Bitcoin. And if they hang on to their Bitcoin, that just means there's less Bitcoin out there to buy. And if there's less Bitcoin to buy, it means the price is going to go up. The way Bitcoin is structured, the price has to go up because of the way of the halving, because every 4 years the process becomes more difficult, which means it's harder to mine and you get less reward. And the other thing is, because of that, the price goes up. The price has got to go up because of the difficulty. So there's a built-in factor for Bitcoin to go up. The problem is you can't time the market because you have too many crazy things going on, like China coming in and saying, oh, we're just going to close down mining in our country for the time being. I do believe they'll come back online with China, but right now it's closed down. And who knows, you could have never foreseen this. This is why people that run charts, I think, are so inferior as far as their ability to predict the price of Bitcoin. Who would know that China was going to all of a sudden have a moratorium or some sort of a stopping of Bitcoin mining? Who would have known that? You couldn't have figured that out. You're not going to look at the chart and say, oh, well, looks like China's going to quit mining Bitcoin or stop mining Bitcoin, outlaw Bitcoin mining, so we got to build that into the price. No, you're going to see that in a chart. All you're going to see is historical information, and there's no way you're going to do that. And I think so much of what's going on in the market today is based on people looking at charts or people that are just looking at the news, but they're not really understanding the nuts and bolts in the inside of what it takes to actually build something and develop something and troubleshoot all the problems and figure out an application or run an application on the blockchain. Very few people are doing that. We're one of the few in the world that are doing that. Actually running something on the blockchain, something that's working, something that has users around the world. And we had, I think 4 or 5 of the people that were heavily involved with our project that have helped us out around the world. We have quite a few in Nigeria. We have people in Bangladesh. We have people literally all over the world. South Africa. We have people in Colombia. We have people all over the world that are working on challenge applications, doing challenges, geo challenges, and task challenges. So we have an application that is working and doing very well. So while everybody else is talking hype, we're actually performance. We actually got some performance going on. We're actually doing something. And we are, let me see where we're at right now as far as market cap is concerned. We're trading terribly. I mean, this is terrible. For an up and running application, we've got $152,000 market cap, and what is our volume today? It doesn't even put volume up right now. But anyway, 152,000 for somebody that's actually built an application, runs it every single day, has real-time users, and we actually have challenges being made every day versus something like Cardano that he's talking about having college papers written to decide their next course of action. College papers that are going to have to go through, and whose centralized decision is it which college paper they decide the ideas that they decide to go with. That's probably one of the reasons why I've been frustrated with the market, haven't really made a lot of videos lately, because I see this kind of stuff, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Not to mention the fact that you got a lot of these places like Cardano and Binance who are in the crosshairs of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And let me tell you, the Securities and Exchange Commission go after anybody. They're going to go after Binance because they are a company, I think, that, like with us, with CHL, with the way they've done the people that hold the EOS token and the way they've kept their tokens that we rightfully gave to them in cold storage for themselves, refused to give them back to us, and refused to release them to their own token holders. So yeah, I think people like Binance Coin, who's raised a lot of money and have a lot of clout and power, and I don't know how much Binance Coin is run by the Chinese government or how much it is CG or whatever his name is. I don't even, when I listen to the guy talk, I mean, and I don't talk negatively about any of these people. I know they're all smart people. And, Vitalik's a smart guy. Charles Hawkinson's a smart guy. CZ's a smart guy. But I'm just saying, in relationship to what their valuations are of their coins, it doesn't make any effing sense, okay? It doesn't make any effing sense that you got a guy sitting in Colorado who's talking peer-reviewed papers that's got a $38 billion market cap. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Like him, don't like him, think he's a bullshitter, think he's not a bullshitter, you know, think he's a great guy, not a great guy, think he's a genius, not think, I don't care. I don't see any production. I don't see any real world activity. I don't see anything happening. The same thing with Ethereum. I mean, Vitalik can, you know, geek out all day long and talk about with plasma and talk about all the other stuff he talks about, sharding and plasma and how this is all going to work together. And one day we're going to have the magic block where we all become proof of stake instead of proof of work. He can geek out and talk all day long about this stuff, but until it happens, you know what? Why do they get a $222 billion market cap? Why? I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense with a $1,900 price. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that got in on this that are going to love these guys and hate on anybody that says anything negative about them. Because I've been through this before with these guys. I've been through it before where they hate on anybody that says anything negative. And it is what it is. I mean, broadcast.com didn't work. I mean, Ethereum 2.0. I've actually listened to Michael Saylor. I think Michael Saylor, who in my mind is one of the true, the true truth tellers in the crypto space is Michael Saylor. When he starts saying, hey, you know, he questions Ethereum and their ability to pull off 2.0. When that happens, then I would give it some credibility. Don't listen to me. Listen to Michael Saylor. I mean, he's the guy with the billion-dollar company. He's the guy that owns billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. He's the guy that's put his company's balance sheet. He's put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. He's the one that's putting his reputation and all of his money online to buy Ethereum. He's questioning, buy Bitcoin, not Ethereum. In fact, some people have asked him about Ethereum. He's not into Ethereum. So anyway, like I say, this is going to be interactive. So I'm going to read the comments as well as I can read comments because I'm not very good at reading comments. So Steve, cheers, Kent from NZ. Keep up the good work. Go EOS. And thank you very much. Challenge is the bomb. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We have worked very hard on it, and we have followed through, and we have done what we said we were going to do. We said we were going to build an application. We built that application. We said we were going to get users. We've got users. We said we were going to get exchanges to trade the CHL token. We have exchanges trading the CH token. So everything that we said we've done, we've done. We've followed through. Because we don't have the luxury of having a cult-like, what would you say, a cult-like following that we can just sit here and say, oh my gosh, pixie dust and magic stars and everything will be all right, and we'll just look into the moon and the sun, and when everything matches and right, the planets align, everything will work just magically the way it's supposed to work. If there's anything I've learned about building anything, including internet projects or anything like that, there's a lot of trial and error, and there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of hardship. There's not much hardship when you sit in your easy chair in Colorado, like Hawkinson does, and pontificate on peer-reviewed papers as far as making decisions about a project that should be worth $38 billion, market cap of $38 billion. That's $38 billion. 38 billion, 140, 608, 39,000 dollars. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's an incredible market cap for something that has yet to be launched, has yet to be built, and has yet to do anything. Anything. Period. And don't listen to me. Listen to him. He'll tell you that. The other guy I like to talk about is Richard Hart with Hex. I mean, here's a guy that basically tells you, hey, everybody else is doing it. Why shouldn't we do it? I'm going to do it too. Everybody else is hyping a project and overhyping a project and not doing anything to get the money. I'm going to go ahead and do it too. Just stake to me. Stake your Ethereum to me. Give it to me. you know, and I'll cut you in on some of the benefits. Kind of like with Dogecoin. You know, everybody says, well, Elon's going to drive Dogecoin up and he's just going to take me along for the ride. Elon's a good guy and he's just going to run up Doge, and all of a sudden he's just going to, you know, because he's running up Doge and he's making something out of nothing, then I just follow along with the Elon, and he's just a wonderful guy and he's just going to make me lots of money because Elon, you know, he's such a generous guy. He's going to run this thing up and help you out. No, they're going to pull the rug out from underneath you one day, and you're going to lose most of the value of your Dogecoin because there's nothing behind Dogecoin. And as this market develops, as people start to use it, and there's actually some real activity going on, you're going to see people like Deutsche go away unless they can come up with some use for it, which actually at this point doesn't look very likely. So we got Michael says, much support, love you channel from Hong Kong. Oh, thank you, love Hong Kong. Keep Kent will become an active member of Eden. Oh yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Well, we talked about that a little bit. I think I talked about that a little bit last night about Eden. We're thinking we're going to start running on Telos and do some things with Eden. We also have the largest marketing company in the world out of London, England, who've contacted us. They're very interested in Challenge, and they have an idea for how to use Challenge. Now this is very early in the stages. We just got, they contacted us on LinkedIn, and they're looking at our project and they're asking us questions, and we're still in that question and answer phase. But they're the largest. I don't know if Chase has disclosed it or not on his channel. I don't recall the name of the company, but they're the largest advertising firm in the world. They're looking at Challenge. They like the idea, and we're kind of just trying to get a little kind of dialogue going back and forth between them. We have this happen all the time. One of these companies will eventually step up, and we will get some activity with one of these people. And when you're buying a Challenge token at literally, what is it right now, hundreds of a penny, and if we can cut a deal with somebody like that, I think and these evaluations of Challenge start to go up to where they should be, which is in the hundreds of millions of dollars instead of $152,000. I think there's going to be some happy campers, and that's where we're headed, because we are developing. We are in the real world. We are actually making something happen, and we're doing it on the EOS blockchain. Somebody wrote me too. Let me look at my comments real quick. I want to show you a comment that somebody wrote me, because I get these comments all the time. YouTube. Actually, the last couple of ones I had were pretty good, but I had one a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. So. It says, can I say this, Kent? For 4 years, your view on EOS was wrong. You said you will encapsulate all blockchains. EOS will encapsulate all blockchains. Then it will be I think he says then it's big fail RN. Your view on Dan was wrong. He built bullshit. You know, I'm going to tell you about Dan Larimer. And I actually have met Dan Larimer. Got a video. If you go back through my videos, you're going to see that I met him. I think Dan Larimer, as time goes on, will be more appreciated for what he's done. Because Dan Larimer didn't have to build the EOS blockchain, just like Cardano has not released Cardano blockchain. He didn't have to do it, but he did it. And I think at the end of the time, you know, and he's always talked about proof of stake. He said proof of work will not be the smart contract platform because it's too slow, takes too much time, and I think that's proven out. It's starting to prove out. In fact, back in the day when they had the between Satoshi and people that were talking with Satoshi, Dan basically said, hey, you're not going to be able to run at speeds with proof of work that are going to be sustainable for high volume traffic. And Satoshi said, hey, dude, if you don't get it now, I'm not going to be able to explain it to you. Well, I think at the end of the day, you're going to find out that Dan was right, that there needs to be proof of stake, and that's kind of seems to be where everybody's trying to move to, is proof of stake. So yeah, I think Dan, although I do say things about Dan that aren't probably the most favorable, I do think at the end of the day, Dan Larimer will be one of the people that people will recognize as um, a real innovator. You know, some of the stuff he come up with is really way ahead of its time. And even though I give him a lot of, you know, sometimes say a lot of stuff about Dan, my true feelings about Dan is that he's a pretty honest guy. He tries pretty hard to do the right thing, and he's probably one of the good guys in crypto. So yeah, Dan. As much as I talk shit on Dan, I think Dan's a pretty good guy. So, and I do support him, and I think that the guy is honest, and I think he is trying to make the best blockchain possible, and he has made the best blockchain possible. And that's what I got to say about Dan. Although I have made videos about Dan where I've given him a lot of crap too. So let me read what Adam R says. Well, actually, Dan is more of a blockchain pioneer. Yeah, he is a blockchain pioneer. My only issue with Dan is that he's a little bit stiff. You know, he just doesn't quite have he doesn't have the charisma like a Vitalik. He doesn't have the charisma of a Charles Hawkinson or a CZ or CZ or whatever. He's just not quite. He's a little bit stiff in his beliefs, a little bit stiff. But as far as being brilliant, the guy understands blockchain, I think, better than anybody else in the world, and I think that he has good intentions. That his, however it turns out, you know, when he leaves a project or like just like recently left. I think he's back in, but he's in a different capacity. When he leaves and comes back, it doesn't look good. But at the end of the day, I think the guy has good intentions. I think he does have a good, you know, he's not in this thing just to hype and take people's money and to basically try to just rip people off. No, I don't think that's Dan Larimer. So I'm a supporter of Dan Larimer's, even though sometimes I do talk a little crap on him. So Richard Hart, let's talk about Richard Hart. Richard Hart's been around. Richard Hart has around 350 million already sacrificed to his Pulse chain, and he has explicitly said there is no promise of profit. He's making out like a bandit. Richard Hart is probably, I mean, if you go to the dictionary and you look up bullshit artist in the dictionary, Richard Hart's picture's got to be there. I mean, it's just basically got to be there. He's a fast talking guy, and he has a good way of being able to make you believe that although he is not, he's doing things that obviously don't have any foundation or any completion process, or don't have, you know, he gets you to believe in what he's doing, and he gets you to believe that what he's doing that is going to be something to benefit you. He's going to get you that, like, we're in this together. It's kind of like he's got this club, and if you join his club, he's going to make sure you get what you need. What you're going to make out very well with him, even though what he's doing is total garbage. So that's Richard Hart. You know, and then of course he's got to do all the candelabra and the thing behind him and all the other stuff. The guy's a bullshit artist. He's always been a bullshit artist. He always will be a bullshit artist. You know, it's just what it is. It is what it is. But you know, he's a smart guy. I admire him. I don't dislike him. I admire him. You know, he drives a lot of business to the cryptocurrencies and everything like that. But you have to be careful with a guy like that. He's playing a game, and you got to know when to get out of his game. But there's no long-term. There's no long-term business with Richard Hart. There's no long. He's not going to be there for 10 years. He's not going to be there for 20 years. You're not going to have constant, steady growth with Richard Hart. You know, he's going to get the people to come along with him for as long as they'll come along with him, and then when they kind of start, you know, things don't go like he says they're going to say, he's going to start losing people because there really isn't anything there, in my opinion. These are all my opinions. Okay. He's out there. He's throwing his stuff out there. I'm reading it. I'm looking at it. This is my analysis. If you have a different analysis, let me know. That's what this is about. Interacting with people online. Hey, Kent, good morning from Spain. Thank you. Nice. I've never been to Spain. Love to be to Spain. Cheers, Kent, from NZ. Keep going up. Good work. Good. Yes, thank you very much. So yeah, thanks. There's a lot of people out there. Appreciate you commenting. I will do these every single night. If you want to talk about this, let's talk about this. Like I say, one of the reasons that gets frustrating for me is that I see a lot of stuff going on that I think doesn't deserve the valuations. Not that these guys aren't smart, not that these guys don't know their stuff. They just don't deserve the valuations they have. In the billions, in the billions. Let me tell you, there's going to have to be a lot of work and a lot of good luck happen for these huge billion dollar valuations to materialize into something that actually can support that kind of a market cap. That's all I'm saying at this point. All I'm saying is there's a huge blue sky built into some of these projects, and be wary when there's that much blue sky. When something is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, there's got to be some activity. You just can't say that a company that's worth $100 billion, 200, 300, 400 billion dollars, which is the size of companies that are, you're talking about companies like, huge companies, companies that make, massive products, massive, I don't know what I'm trying to think of the valuations of some of the largest corporations in the country. But this is, you're getting to the point where you're in the top couple percent of major businesses that have huge, huge revenue, huge amounts of money coming in, and with those kind of valuations and those kind of market caps, you're in the Apple area. I mean, Apple's $1 trillion. Google, Amazon. But they're real companies. I mean, Amazon, I just bought a bunch of stuff off Amazon tonight. I don't know what Amazon's market cap is, but let's just see Amazon's market cap. Let's see what Amazon's market cap is. But they're a real company. Been around over 20 years. Now they are kind of the de facto place to buy stuff. And what is a market cap on if I can figure it out from this stuff, market cap on, say 1.8 trillion, 1.8 trillion. I mean, does Cardano, let's go back to CoinMarketCap, that has almost a $40 billion market cap. I mean, 40 billion with nothing, versus Amazon has 1.8 trillion that is kind of dematerializing, as Michael Saylor would say, dematerializing retail in the United States and around the world. They probably have millions, tens of millions of customers that they sell products to every single day. They actually have trucks moving all over the time, moving all over the neighborhoods. They have a $1.8 trillion market cap. And then you have Cardano, who's really done nothing but talk a game of peer review paper. He's got a $40 trillion market cap. I don't see how the two materialize. So there's no way you can compare those two. One has, one of the best businesses right now, business models going in the world, and the other one has yet to even start. So how do you start when you got a $40 trillion or $40 billion market cap, when you got a company with $1.8 trillion pretty much dominating retail in the country right now, and get globally pretty soon? So that's what I'm saying. They're way overvalued, way overvalued. So this is what's going on. You need to value. You need to understand that these companies like Cardano, like Binance, like Deutsche, Polkadot, all these companies, they are way overvalued right now for what they actually have going on. And keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that Bitcoin, to me, which is the most undervalued crypto of all, will be coming back as soon as these miners come back online. So keep that in mind too. So pretty much that's the theme of the night's video. We will be talking about stuff like this in the future. I won't be running through any charts. I won't be doing any of that stuff, but I'll be talking about what I feel, and I will be talking about what it is that that's going to drive this future of cryptocurrency and the markets. And we'll be telling you what we're doing, because we're transparent. We're telling you exactly what we're doing. and we'll build too. We'll continue to build, just like Bezos has done with Amazon. He just builds. He just keeps on building. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Have a good evening.